going here. Let's introduce our players as we get ready to introduce them into the game, and we get ready to go into this series, our final series of the day, guys. It's been a long Leifeng Cup. Usually we don't cast for this long in the Leifeng Cup, but it's great to have so many longer games to cast. And thank you all for tuning in, of course, and joining us. Of course, if you enjoy this tournament, haven't seen it in the past and stuff, make sure you hit the follow button, because we do cast it pretty much, well, we cast it every single time it's on, more or less. And of course, we are casting pretty much every single day here on the channel, so come check it out. As we have to the top right hand side of the map, our red Terran player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Polt. And down to the bottom left is going to be our purple Protoss player. Guys, let's hear it if you're cheering on Jieshi. So, as we set up into this, how is everyone doing in the chat? Hope we're all doing good. Hope we're all enjoying the game so far. Hope we're all having a pretty good day. I'm definitely having a great day. We've seen some fantastic games. If you did miss any of them, guys, they'll be available straight away on the Twitch VODs. Of course, we will put the best onto YouTube as well. YouTube's not been updated for a few days, but today is my YouTube catch-up day, basically. So I'm going to get a lot of stuff done on the YouTube channel for the rest of today, basically. So there's going to be a lot of stuff queued up, ready to go by the end of tonight. There'll be a lot of stuff on the YouTube over the next week or so, week or two. I'll be uploading at least one match a day, if not two, to keep you guys all the action to find on that YouTube channel. Is youtube.com/SC2improve if you want to check it out. And if you are enjoying the games as well, you can support the stream by subscribing, etc. Also, blah blah blah. If you do feel like you don't want to support me and help me to continue bringing you guys this content on a highly regular basis every single day, etc., then check it out. The information and stuff is below the stream if you're watching on twitch.tv. Otherwise, just come to let me know what's up in the chat as we do get set up into this. Report for not giving attention food to the dog. I literally just went and played with the dog for like 5 minutes during the break. So I didn't give the dog attention. It's just the dogs are crazy today. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, sometimes they bark once or twice during a stream. Today they are non-stop. They will not stop. Everything is about the dogs. It's dogs, 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 dogs. They're just crazy. I don't know what's gotten into them. As you do see, Polt going to be opening for 2 racks based opening, and with the way this is setting up, it's looking to be that sort of 2 rack stim based opening actually. Although that's actually a little bit of a late second guess, I suppose, for this build, maybe. It should be stim though, and starport and reactor. It might just be stim, starport and widow mines. We're going to see this probe gets taken down, but 2 pylons coming in towards the front here. Now Polt has 2 marines out already. He's got 2 more building about to come in. We've seen Adept already moving forwards as well, which is going to start working against this first marine. First marine going to go down. 2 more marines popping out as well. Jieshi going to get some good damage done here early on, as we see now Polt pulling back. He's going to have to stay away from that forward overcharge, as he will definitely take some damage here from this in the very early stages of the game. So it's going to be seen that Adept chasing after a few SCVs to the right hand side. The marines just going to have to wait for the forward overcharge to dissipate, but there's going to be 2 available, so he's got a little while longer to wait. He's going to lose this reactor. He's going to lose his other depot as well, unless he pulls SCVs to repair it, which he could because it's out of range of the overcharge. So he definitely could do that, but is he going to? As we have the Reaper across the map is starting to get some damage done. He's lost 4 SCVs, but he doesn't get any probes killed at all. He's coming in to try and scout, and you will see a Stargate follow-up here. So Polt gets some good information as the count on the follow-up of this. As we will now see, the Widow Miners come out, and that's actually just going to be a medevac. So no starport, no reactor, no double medevac here. Maybe because of just the way that Yishi's opening, maybe just because it was this plan all along. As we'll see, this Adept still down on the low ground will go down as well. Yishi, oh, Polt not stepping towards that is a little bit of a mistake. Let it get away. We're going to be seeing 1 pylon going down, and another pylon will also fall here in the next couple of moments. So second pylon also goes down, and we'll just be seeing Yishi hitting a little bit of a supply block right now as Polt sets up into the 3rd racks, and now his reactor and his medevac on the way. He's setting up into another reactor on his 1st barracks as well. So let's get this set ready to go. Behind all of this though, Yishi is taking a 3rd base, and yeah, just going to be seeing the 3rd Nexus coming on down. So 3rd Nexus coming in here. We're going to see the Robo facility going to be finishing up in the very near future as well. And a gateway too, so 1 or 2 gates going to be also added on from Jieshi. I'm just going to be seeing his Oracle coming in. Just looking to try and fight against that mineral line. Oh, I love this. The lift up on the medevac of Marines. He's just going to keep on chasing that Oracle. Does he get it in the very end? It's going to be so close. No, he doesn't. So unfortunately, Polt does not make that happen for himself. He sits 14 workers behind here after the opening, puts his starport onto the reactor. Has to start getting something done soon because Jieshi, 3rd base, is going to be finishing, and Jon Snow's Jon Snow. What the flip am I talking about? And Polt's just going to be like, what the hell was that? Oh, what even made me say that? At all? That's a very weird slip of the tongue. It's a very strange slip of the tongue, actually. Like, I don't think I even read it anywhere in chat or anything, so I don't know. Sometimes I like read something in chat and say it instead of like what I meant to say or something, or someone's name from chat either as well. But but yeah, like I have absolutely no idea. I've absolutely no idea. Oh well. Combat shield's on the way up, +1 as well. Warp Prism, Twilight Council, and the Resonating Glaives will come off of that. +1 Forge on the Forge, and we just set up into this game for Jieshi. He's just set up into very standard sort of en masse sort of gateway-based forces in the early stages of this. 3 medevacs coming across the map right now from Polt, so as they come down to the bottom left-hand side, they'll be looking to unload over towards this nexus and just working their way through this. So getting ready to work their way through this. We'll see the medevacs begin to unload over here. There's actually quite a lot of units, and the mothership core out of position. Only 1 pylon here. Where is actually the army of the Protoss players? 5 adepts, and that's about it. This third nexus is in a lot of trouble. Where's the army? There's a couple of Phoenixes, an Oracle, 2 Stalkers. Is actually just not enough to fight these Marines. Marines will kill this third base then. Wow, Polt going for a fight, which actually turns out very well for him. He's going to turn around and start fighting against these adepts also. He's going to keep on fighting against them. Of course, no Resonating Glaives just yet. He'll now load up, jump in towards the main base, where there is an overcharge available. Has to be careful. That medevac, which is full of units, is getting low. Unloads here will start to tail off the Oracle, and actually a Warp Prism here too is going to get targeted down. Bit of a weird one to actually bring that Warp Prism back over there. As we can see now, probes on the third base are going down too. Jieshi is falling apart right now after getting himself off to a fairly decent position in the start of the game. He's completely fallen apart. Third base killed, no cancel, and Polt keeps on trading here. And this is exactly what sort of stuff that Polt was hoping for. As Resonating Glaives kicks in now, there's actually still just not enough adepts left over. A sentry goes down, these adepts on move command as well, so they're going to keep on going down. Everything is going wrong for our Protoss play in the last couple of moments. You're going to see another pylon getting taken down as well. And that's just going to be a few more adepts just coming in towards the third base. As we can see, medevacs are loading, just going to back away. And that is going to be, well, that is going to be Polt just in a situation now where he has done a lot of damage. He's putting his third base up fairly late because he's gone into 5 racks initially, but he's done a lot of damage, so he's definitely in a position where he can take the third base at this sort of timing. And now he begins to push across the map with his reinforcements. So he's got a lot of Marines, Marauders, 2 more medevacs coming across the map right now. And just looking to see what's going to be going on. So we run into a lot of adepts here initially. We'll begin to pull back. Those adepts will commit to the shade, which means actually they're not on top of the rest of the army, which is coming in now. +1 upgrades against +1 upgrades from both players as Marauders get brought to the front to do the tanking. Adepts getting ready to maybe kind of jump on top of this army once again. Polt will again stim. He's going to keep on fighting this again, pulling his Marines to the back to make sure that it's the Marauders that are tanking most of the damage here as he loads up into the medevacs and will once again pull back towards the upper right-hand side of the map. 2 Liberators out now, more Marauders, Marines, another Widowmine getting set to come back into play, as we'll see those units from Polt going towards the third base, which he's not going to find. So when he sees the lack of a third base, now he'll know just how dangerous a situation this becomes as his opponent basically all ins across the map towards him. Both Liberators set up, a Widowmine there as well. It's unlikely that these Adepts and this Stalker are realistically going to be game-ending, as we're going to see a stimming. He'll just start to target down pylons. As pylons fall, we will just see gateways empowered, and basically Jieshi losing a lot of potential to follow up from this. We're going to see Adepts actually commit all the way into the main base. Polt is very late to respond to this. His Liberators will probably have to unsiege, I imagine. Scan actually picks off a... Scan/turret picks off an Observer. Adepts all over the place right now. Lots of workers going down on either side of the map, but over on this side it is indeed the Bioforce, which is still kind of looking strong. The Adepts still around here as well, but eventually I think they're just going to end up going down. As we see 30 workers killed to 20. I mean, this is still a lot of damage done by the Adepts here, but the problem still stands that Polt just has such a larger, so much of an army, such a larger army to begin with, 3 bases as well. And it doesn't really matter. We're going to see the natural expansion of Jieshi about to go down. And that means Polt takes game. Easy day. I mean, he very nearly dropped him up to Bly on New Gettysburg. Very rarely did drop that map to Bly very nearly. Did drop a Bly to Jigro as well. So it's not been an easy day for Polt. Let's see if he can clean up a little bit more easily than the previous games as we go into this. To the top left-hand side, our purple Protoss player is going to be Jieshi from Rai Esports. And to the top right, it's going to be our red Terran player. So here, guys, we're going to be cheering on Polt. As we set up into game, Number 2, Polt leads 1-0. And we'll be seeing how this will follow up now in game number 2. See what the build orders are going to be. See what exactly Jieshi might try to take a map off of Polt here. He needs to take 2 in a row if he wants to advance to the playoffs. Not going to be easy for him. Did take down Bly here earlier. Did not take down Jigra though, and that's where his day may very well have all gone wrong. It always oftentimes is with the Chinese players. If they are able to take down one of the Koreans, it does oftentimes come back to how it started, you know, how the Chinese versus China match started, because that can affect so much, as we're going to be seeing the gas first opening here from Polt, so something a little bit different, as we're going to be seeing this SCV just building up this barracks. So Rack's just about to finish up, and we'll see the SCV just actually going to move out onto the map. Factory will drop down in the back, so no scouting available here at all from Jieshi. For all he knows, there could be a command center just here, you know. It's generally probably going to be a gas first when you see something like this, but sometimes there's some mind games that come into play as well, so we'll see how this goes as we have this Marine from Polt just having a little bit of a look around just to the left hand side of his main base. So as SCV continues to come across over the left side here, we'll spot the Nexus on the way up. Only 1 gas from Polt, so what this is looking to be from my point of view is probably a Marine Hellion drop. And that's something that Beyond did the other day in the Doyo Star Masters, if you're watching last week. I've been playing around with this build actually quite a lot on the ladder against pros players. Well, there's quite an early CC for it, so maybe it's just the build order changed up a little bit from what I'm used to. It may just be a Widowmine drop then, because then to build a CC is expensive on minerals, so it's not necessarily going to be Hellions. There could be. I mean, he's saving up the money. He's not doing anything just yet with the factory. He's not going to do anything with the factory at all. He's just going to go for a super fast starport. Okay, so this is interesting. Might still add on a Widowmine at some point, just when it suits him better with the kind of timing. And still go for like a bit of a Widowmine drop. He's actually going to be drilled in an engineering bay across the map to deny his opponent from kind of mining from this base a little bit. I don't know. I never feel as though this is effective, because I know this probe here is losing a little bit of mining time, but by the time this gets killed, he's not going to really have blocked that much timing at all. If Jieshi wasn't trying to rally his probes onto an ineffective mineral patch, this would be completely fine for him. Mine from this one, this one, this one, this one. He should be fine. Like, I don't understand this engineering bay block. I never really feel as though it's something we something that really kind of has much effect. We can see 2 racks follow up. Such a weird build by Polt. Literally just kind of a gas first into gas first Widowmine drop, I guess, in the end. So the idea is, I suppose, the fact that he doesn't need the Widowmine until the medevac's here anyway, so you can delay it a bit just to spend the minerals on things that are more useful at that point in time. Now we're going to be seeing a tech lab on this barracks at the front for stim, and 2 reactors ready for these next 2 racks. So a bit of a different build from Polt, a little bit unique, and we're actually going to see him just starting to unload towards the front here. Already the observer, though, picking up on where this army is. So Polt just going to attack towards the front, and you see a few stalkers already set up from Jieshi. They're going to get ready to come into play very soon as well. As Widowmine going to burrow for an overcharge, comes down immediately. It actually hits onto the Marines. It's going to be a load and leave, but an observer nearby cleans that first Widowmine up with no issue. And so Polt's initial opening here has not been super effective. But there's that stim, there's a Marauder, and I imagine indeed he will just start going into towards a lot of bio-based production now, as he actually has on a second tech lab. The starport reactor is actually going to be kept there, so you can go into some more medevac production. But it might need a 3rd gas if he wants that. Medevac production is definitely not cheap in terms of gas. As if you talk about Jieshi and what he's been up to, well, he's got a robo down, but nothing other than that just yet. We don't see the Twilight, and that's a fairly late Twilight in fairness. I mean, no blink for some time here. As you see the Warp Prism popping out. I guess what he's basically done is just set up into a lot of gates as fast as possible and the robo to defend against gas first aggression, and that's just going to mean that he doesn't get his Twilight up as early because he hasn't played as greedy as he might usually try and play, you know. And you've seen this Warp Prism continue to come in towards the main base in the next few moments. It's going to be setting that up as we have. I mean, the bio units will continue to come out in pretty decent numbers here. There's a couple of Marauders, so these Stalkers are actually going to be in a little bit of trouble if they really try to commit forwards. They'll come in, they'll start to work their way through a couple of SCVs. It's going to be 1-2 kills. But I mean, just mostly going to have to lift up almost straight away just because of the fact that there's enough bio around here in the main base. It's not like a depth, they can't jump around as easily and be as annoying. But it's just because he built the Stalkers early to defend, may as well try and do something with them, considering he has the Warp Prism out. May as well put them to some sort of use here in the game. Stim and combat about to finish. This is going to turn into a very aggressive attack here from Polt in the very near future. Those Stalkers have to lift once again. I mean, as Polt gets up into another medevac, and, well, Marine and Marauder continues to pour out with Stim and combat shields finishing. This really is just going to be Polt looking to move across the map and attack, and well, he's going to hit before Blink, and that can make things very difficult. As gateway units become so much more effective, or the Stalkers become so much more effective when Blink comes into play, so it's going to be interesting. There's the load up, so he is just going to load up to move across the map. And there we go, 3 medevacs. This is obviously what he's been building towards. I like this build. It's unique, it's different, it's a little bit, not, you know, not quite what it usually is. It still gets you fast pace, but just hits some different timings that the Protoss player might not be kind of so used to, you know? So that can be very annoying if you're a Protoss player who's trying to just play a standard game and just scout and you're seeing a gas first, and then you don't actually really get attacked by too much apart from a Widow Mine drop. Then all of a sudden it's a gas first into kind of super fast Stim combat shield push. So are you necessarily ready for this? Well, not really, because a gas first doesn't kind of lead you into that sort of situation too often. Polt here's best option is to really go and kill off the third base, which is coming down. I'm going to see if these units want to chase and protect the third base, then they have to come down to the low ground, and there's still no blink, so these Stalkers are still not super effective. So we're going to be seeing that third base starting to take some damage, and the third is taking more and more damage. There's the cancel, and Polt will just run away over to the left-hand side. So fairly successful attack here where he's denied the third. And we'll just continue to move away. So, Polt just going to be pulling back. Then we're going to see the Stalkers starting to work their way through these rocks just to open up the kind of the access between bases a little bit more. We're going to be seeing those Adepts getting ready to jump up into the Warp Prism. And we'll move forwards a little bit further again, trying to do some more harassment. But Polt rallying his reinforcements into his main, or has at least a group of reinforcements in the main, ready to either load up into a drop and move across the map, or whatever. I mean, maybe it's just to deal with the Warp Prism because he knows it's out here. Either way, we'll be seeing these units ready to try and help defend. As again, we see Marines, Marauders from Polt just sat nearby. That third Nexus on the way up once more from our Protoss players. So, trying to re-establish this. Polt also starting to build his own third CC. He just scans to clean up a something. I'm not sure actually. The Warp Prism taking a lot of damage from a Widow Mine on the way in, but will still get in here. Polt a little bit out of position, and eventually pulls his units out of position from the main base. But now we're going to see Polt just splitting up to deal with these Adepts in different locations, as we are going to be seeing a few of them in towards the natural, but already units there. And so Polt cleans this up fairly effectively in the end, and has to be careful now of that Widow Mine. If he flies back into that, the Warp Prism is low enough to get one shot, so we'll have to be a little bit more careful about that in the future. Polt's drop still to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Only losing 4 workers to that, though, is pretty nice. His upgrades are fairly late here. His +1 attack is only just now starting, very late into the game. Very rare nowadays you actually see the Protoss player with an upgrade lead, but that's exactly what we're about to see here. I mean, he already has +1 attack and +1 armor. Will be finishing before Polt has the +1 attack even finished. So definitely going to be an upgrade lead here now for our Protoss player, and that's something, again, we don't usually see just because of the way the builds usually go. Again, it's a bit of a different build from Polt, something that kind of, you know, it's not super weird in the way, it's just a different way of doing kind of the norm, or not necessarily the norm, but something which can be considered the norm, as we're going to be seeing these Marines and Marauders getting caught in. He's just going to try and target down the sentries to make the most of this. He's not even going to get one of them, though. Bad target firing, but at the same time, the third base is going to be under attack, and again, Polt just going to target that down. Pulls his opponent away to the left-hand side, and guess what? He is here to the right. Third base goes down. He's going to kill a pylon on the way out as well, perhaps. Actually, Stalker's blinking forward, so the Marauders just going to keep on running. He's showing a bit of a supply lead, and he might just go and counter-attack after this, saying, well, you know what, you just used so many units to try and attack. I'm just going to kind of pull, you know, go and counter. So Polt does have already 2 Liberators up, though, and that's definitely going to help with his sort of defense against this. Keeping a lot of his units out on the map rather than bringing them home could be risky, as we're going to be seeing him still with a bunker here, though, and honestly, defending on 2 bases, he should be able to make this happen with this counter-attack once again with that dropship. He should still be able to make things work here as we see the Adepts begin to shade forwards. 2 more Liberators about to pop out, and that will make a big difference here now as we see the Stim forwards. We'll see the SCVs beginning to repair the bunker. The Bioforce here caught in the fight. There's 2 more Liberators coming in, though. And we're going to be seeing these having to siege up ASAP as Polt. Well, maybe he doesn't have enough here because he's still got the bunker. He's still got another Liberator on the high ground. Stalkers don't have Blink again just yet. Stalker count is going to keep on going down here, especially as Marines and Marauders continue to pop out. 2 more Liberators on the way, which could help him defend in the end. Polt needs to get in. Oh, there's units at home for Jieshi, so actually Polt can't even really just kind of counterattack here, and so Jieshi is going to keep his dreams alive here today in the Leifeng Cup. He is going to be taking down Polt in game number 2, so we are going to see a new Gettysburg between these guys, as we're just going to be seeing the Marines and Marauders coming on in, and we're going to see what's going on. Going to keep on trying to fight. We see a couple of sentries already being targeted. One more, get rid of that Guardian shield, but Polt just doesn't really have enough units. He loses his natural command center across the map as well. Stalkers blink to the high ground. Liberator's going to set up here, and well, maybe he can defend the Liberators right now because there isn't enough Stalkers. And he will continue to try and fight against this, but half the supply of his opponent is not looking pretty at all as he tries to keep on fighting here. A depth shade in, there's already more depths warping in as well, and Polt is all over the place trying to defend, trying to fight with this drop, and it's just not going to be enough GG, and so we are going to be going into the third game. Jieshi, if he wins this, can still advance through the group with Polt in second place. Otherwise, if Polt wins this, it's Polt and Jigra who move on through to the playoffs, which take place on Wednesday. To the bottom left-hand side of the map, we're going to be seeing our red Terran player. It is going to be Polt. And to the bottom right-hand side, our purple Protoss player will be Jieshi. And as we set on up into this game, number 3. Again, I mean, at the very end of that game, I'm just surprised because Polt wasn't initially doing anything with that drop again. I mean, he was looking to maybe attack the third base once more, but I just don't understand why not bring it home if you're not going to use it immediately, especially when you start to see your opponent moving across the map aggressively towards you. Maybe he just felt he could hold it with what he had at home, I suppose, and just misread the situation. Always a possibility. Polt definitely looking very, very human today, very beatable, I suppose. You know, I mean, we talk about, all of his series now have definitely been tough stretches. He should have lost the map to Bly, really. I mean, it was the most incredible comeback in TvC I've seen in a long time, but he should have lost to Bly. And he played great to not lose to Bly, lose a map to Bly. But still, I mean, he was in a bad position. He lost the map against Jigra, and now he's lost the map against Jieshi, so game 3. I mean, again, Jieshi didn't really play anything too crazy there. He just defended what Polt was doing, counterattacked when he saw an opportunity, and he won the game. So, it was more Polt's, it wasn't really kind of, Jieshi kind of abusing anything in that last game. He just abused the mistakes out of Polt, and abused the openings which he saw opening for himself there. So, I'm going to be seeing this probe just backing away now. I'm just going to be seeing this natural expansion from Jieshi just going to be on the way up. We'll be finishing very, very shortly here. So, natural expansion about to finish as we see another gas coming on down. Cyber core about to finish too. So, very standard openings from both players. As you're going to see Polt with a very fast second racks here. Going back to what he was doing in map number 1. And I wonder if this time, if he doesn't get pylon rushed, if we'll see something play out a little bit differently. And it probably isn't going to happen because this Reaper has already found the probe out on the map, so he's able to take that down. And we'll be seeing the Reaper just moving across the map now to see what else is going to be going on. And he killed off the probes is big, so now he can just get across here and continue to scout. Factoring a second gas, so this time it really does look as though this is going to be Polt going for a very fast 2-rack stim base play. And we'll see what he can do with that as we have that just setting up sort of similar to the TvZ build he was doing against Jigra and so on. And, it's a very standard build. We see it a lot of the time. No surprise to see coming in on New Gettysburg as a way to just pressure a little bit while, again, moving up in towards 3 bases and so on and so on. We do have this single Reaper being chased by the Adept, but Reaper does outrun an Adept when it's not in shade form, so Reaper is able to get away and just holds up a watchtower. As from Jieshi, he goes straight into the Robo Facility, and this time a much faster Twilight, because he isn't afraid of having to build more units to be able to defend against the incoming gas first pressure play. So Jieshi just adapted in his own build based on what he's scouting throughout the games. No super early second and third gas gateways this time is basically the difference. As we'll see this Reaper just continue to have a look to see what is going on. We'll see what's happening. I'm just going to be seeing these Marines just pulling back in towards the natural expansion here from Polt as well. So Marines just pulling back in towards the natural. Not really too much going on then, just waiting for this stim to come up. Actually a first medevac on the way, so no reactor yet. Polt builder Widow Mine, I guess. So, bit of a different build to usual. There's the Widow Mine. So a bit of a different build to usual as we see that Widow Mine on the way up. Not quite the kind of 2 racks double medevac stim drop, but something similar to it. And we'll still put on some pressure here with this medevac about to pop out. So, medevac about to pop. And we'll see what exactly his plan is. Maybe he just waits for the reactor and then goes into 2 medevacs and then attacks. Polt seems to like doing these sort of big bio pushes early on in the game, as we're going to be seeing this observer just coming in and just looking to see what's going to be going on. A couple of stalkers being added. I'm just going to see this Ripper pulling away as well right now. Blink is going to be on the way then and finish up. I mean, this is a much more standard sort of setup from the pros players we'd expect. 5 gates though before third base. Either he's going to be going for a little bit of a safe third base, or he just looks like he just wants a safe third base. So just going for a safe third base. That's what this Reaper's checking for. Sees the probe about to put it down. Unless it's a fake. I mean, again, it is like 5 racks or 5 gates already. You know, just making sure he's going to have enough to defend the third base wave. Maybe a lot of stalker-based pressure coming in soon. Stim about finish. Combat shields will follow this up. A third rack's on the way. And Polt just going in towards a second gas on his natural. So all 4 gases taken. All of this just getting set up before he goes into his third command center. So we're unloading that. We might look at this. Polt actually has the perfect number of units to fit into those medevacs to start heading across the map and trying to get some damage done. So he's going to run right into an observer though. So immediately Jieshi going to have a good idea of where this army is and where it's moving to. If he was paying attention, because right now he's not actually moving his army anywhere. So at the same time, I guess it's not necessarily going to be in the main base that this army goes to. And as you can see, it kind of heads up and actually drops off over here. So observer will spot that. Now Jieshi knows where he has to defend and where he's going to be fighting his opponent. Warp Prism set to go on the other side of the map as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. As this happens, we're going to see these first Adepts starting to go down very quickly. Sentries use their force fields, but the Marines get forwards anyway, and Stalkers will have to start blinking backwards. Fairly okay trade. I mean, we see a fair few Marines survive and a fair few Stalkers survive as well. And Polt here probably just going to end up picking off that pylon before we see him continue to pull back. So actually, these Stalkers sticking around, Medevac sticking around for way too long. And we do see him losing 2 of the medevacs. So actually a little bit of an overcommitment there by Polt towards the end of this. As we're just going to be seeing the command center starting up at the third base. He's been the third base behind this 4th and 5th racks, now on the way down. Just going to be seeing these 4 Adepts jumping on up into that Warp Prism. So loading up into these and just going to be heading in towards the main base in just a few moments, as we're going to be seeing Polt just pulling back with this medevac. And a few Marines, Marauders, a couple more medevacs just coming out. And again, it was a shame for him to lose 2 of the medevacs and so many of those units at the end. He should have really gone away with a lot more than what he did, I think. Those 5 gates coming into use in the end as well, obviously, being able to deny quite a lot of the pressure from Polt. You see, whoa, that Warp Prism took a lot of damage on the way in, but survives, and so 7 workers have already gone down. They're now going to try and see these Adepts shading through to the natural. Nice block by the wall, though. We're going to be seeing the Warp Prism killed off, and so he'll just leave the Adepts in here. Just do a little bit more. 9 workers killed, and that should be about it. The Adepts will get cleaned up. He'll come in, maybe get 1 more because of the upgrade. He can 2-shot SCVs instead of 3-shotting them. And that will be GG for the Warp Prism and its drop for now. Unless he builds another Warp Prism, which he just did. New Warp Prism takes its place. Warp Prism versus Polt. Round 2, game 2. I mean, 10 workers is pretty decent for the Warp Prism. I mean, he's a fair few Adepts, but it does slow Polt down. And you can see in the economy right now, Polt is definitely struggling a little bit. He is 15 workers behind. He's behind in army supply. His upgrades are fairly even. So Polt doesn't really hold very many advantages at all currently in this 3rd game. And remember, if he loses this, he still does go through the group, I believe. But he will go through the group with Jieshi in 2nd place instead of with with Jieshi in 2nd place. I think Polt will go through the group in 2nd place himself, in fact. So he'll be going through the group with Jieshi instead of Jigre. So Jigre is kind of watching this right now, most likely probably hoping like, oh my god, Polt, come on. You can defend these Adepts and Stalkers, I believe in you. You got them Liberators, I believe in you right now. Jieshi just pressuring forwards, looking for an opportunity. Shares them in dice. I think there's just so many units. There's just so many units. We're going to see the Widow Mines going off on a couple of them here and there. The Liberators are starting to get cleaned on up, but there's still 2 in the back. A lot of Adepts still remain on the ground. There's just not enough Stalkers, actually. As the Adepts will just move up in towards the 3rd base. It's going to be a lot of SCVs going down over here. Should cancel that shade, I imagine. Where's he actually shading to? I'm not sure. Just shading down anywhere. Really just escape just in case he needs to. He needs another Warp Prism to be able to come in and just reinforce with a few more Stalkers. Polt is hurting right now. You can see those units coming forward. More Marauders to do some tanking again, perhaps. And Well, more Liberators going to be able to help clean this up. This is a bad shade. Shading onto the ramp. And now he's getting concussive shelled into the liberation zones. More workers going down. 10 more, 11 more, 12. They'll keep on rising. He gets back towards the third base, but there isn't actually too much else going on. But Polt has got that Liberator count still going for himself here. A couple of Stalkers coming all the way back home. Behind this, the fourth base from Jieshi. Polt just sits 20 workers behind. These Adepts will shade back once again. They'll commit to this shade. They don't want to stick around there and continue fighting, not without further reinforcements. And there's some more Stalkers and Adepts coming out of the main, the third, just joining up together. Jieshi, down in army supply currently, has to be somewhat careful if he wants to keep on taking fights. Upgrades, dead even, one apiece. But it is Jieshi continuing the upgrades as he goes into his +2 attack right now as well. So, setting up into that +2 attack. 3 more Liberators on the way out currently from Polt. And it's going to be seeing those units, these Marines and Marauders, joining together. And setting up, ready to go. Polt coming across the Jieshi coming across the map once more. Can Polt defend this attack? He still sits 10 army supply ahead. Can he make this happen? We're going to see. If the Liberators set up like this, and so many Liberators, I think he definitely can. I think it might even be time for, realistically, our Protoss player to decide to go into something a little bit different himself. We see a few Stalkers and Adepts warping in. I'm just going to be seeing these Marines and Marauders just moving down the ramp. Going to keep on trading here. And those units thinking about what they want to try and get up to. As we're going to see him coming forward. Actually, this third base is going to be in trouble. He has to start repairing the third base. Lifts up immediately. Liberators in range to get some of the Adepts, though. Third base does survive for now. More Adepts and some more Stalkers being warped in. Now you can loop around the back, though, and get some of these Liberators, which are currently unprotected by siege zones. There it is, the repositioning from Polt. Exactly what he needs. Still being denied a lot of his mining here and there. We're going to see this is a commitment. He's going to blink forwards. He's going to start taking down the Liberators. Does he have enough Stalkers to do this? Well, the Adepts are working their way against the Bio Forces on the ground. Jieshi is just not working. It's not happening. It's not happening. He's going to lose absolutely every single unit over here. He's going to lose his entire army. He's going to GG out of the game. And that is going to be Polt taking the series.